So we all have been waiting for Love and Marriage Huntsville star Stormy Steele, also the CEO of Canvas Beauty, to respond to her former COO, Kyle Evanko's lawsuit and accusations. Well, now she has in her own lawsuit. Let's unpack this latest development in this crazy story. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So yesterday we posted a video reading you the extensive lawsuit that Kyle Evanko filed against Stormi Steele and all her Canvas Beauty entities. And I said to you, I don't want to hear anything from Stormi until she files her lawsuit. And apparently she did. When I looked up the lawsuit, her lawsuit didn't come up. But shout out to multiple of you guys, maybe Stormi, but through an intermediary. Okay. But also shout out to attorney Redwine, who also sent me the lawsuit. Thank you. You saved me a coin or two. All right. So let's go through her response, which is not as long as Kyle's, but that's okay. At least she's responding legally. And I told you she has to respond legally. So this is what the update is. Let me just skip around because, of course, it says Canvas Fulfillment LLC is the plaintiff in this lawsuit versus Kyle Evanko, who's the defendant. All right. So the complaint, plaintiff Canvas Fulfillment submits this complaint against defendant Kyle Evanko. Until recently, Evanko served as the company's COO. In this capacity, he was paid more than $3 million over the course of the last 16 months. Notwithstanding the termination of his employment with the company, Evanko wrongfully claimed he is entitled to 30% of all future profits in perpetuity and owns certain intellectual property of the company, which I have to say that is pretty damning. He's claiming in his lawsuit, and again, if you missed the previous video, because there is a lot of details in that particular lawsuit as well, he's claiming that they had a verbal agreement, and some of you Google schmoogled and told me that in California and in Alabama, verbal agreements are a thing. However, you still got to prove it. You still got to prove it. So he's claiming to have 30% of this company. He is claiming to be a partner, which if it was me and if I didn't necessarily agree to that, and now you're suing me saying that you have 30% of my company and you're Johnny come lately, and I mean, he is Johnny come lately, but we can't forget that her business was in a space where she could have lost her business, and together they ended up making millions and millions of dollars. But in her lawsuit, she's saying that he was paid. In his lawsuit, he's saying I wasn't paid. I mean, bank transactions, you're not giving $3 million out the, the trunk of a car. I hope not. So they say that the company asked this court to declare that Evanko is owed nothing more than the generous amounts the company has already paid him. So she doesn't even want to pay him that last month. Okay. All right. So they go through the parties. They also go through the jurisdiction and venue of this case. We're not going to go through any of that. I just want to talk about the factual allegations. So they give background information. Canvas is a hair, body, and beauty products company that specializes in sale of hair growth and skincare products. Stormi Steele is the founder of the company. Steele and her husband, Courtney Beasley, are the only members and owners of the company and its affiliates. That's important to note because Kyle is claiming to be a 30% partner of Canvas Beauty. All right? Which would be a big deal if they're making millions of dollars now. All right. So they said in early 2023, the company engaged Cracker Jack, a marketing company, to perform work for the company. Evanko was the company's point of contact for Cracker Jack. That name, every time I hear it. So in March of 2023, Evanko stated that prior to working with the company, he was considering taking a, quote, mini retirement, but changed his mind because he was so invigorated working on the company's marketing. Evanko subsequently approached Steele about working full-time directly for the company. He does mention that in his lawsuit too. Evanko's compensation, they highlight. In April of 2023, the company hired Evanko and he began working for the company on a full-time basis. In exchange, he was paid a generous salary that eventually increased to more than $30,000 per month. He claims in his lawsuit it was $10,000 per month. During the course of Evanko's employment, the parties discussed... Oh, I just had a thought. Can I just share my thought before we get more into this? I just had a thought. She accused him, according to him, of trying to make himself just so, what's the word? So needed, so just indispensable that she was concerned by that. So I'm having the thought that did he do that in order to make himself seem like a partner and an owner? Was this the plan all along? So that's the thing. When I'm handling these stories, guys, like I don't have any side in this, but we've only heard from Kyle Evanko. So it's very easy when you paint one side of the picture as that is it. But now I'm seeing things. So you just never know. You just never know. Anyways, so in regards to his compensation, she says he was being paid $30,000 a month. During the course of Evanko's employment, the parties discussed various alternative compensation arrangements, including possible bonus and equity structures. However, an agreement was never reached between the parties beyond his salary, and Evanko acknowledged this. The company experienced exponential growth in 2023 and 2024. Under Steele's leadership, it became a powerhouse in hair, skin, and beauty market, setting revenue records on TikTok and other social media platforms. As a result of its success, the company paid Evanko bonuses of $300,000 and he mentions this in his lawsuit as well, over $2.4 million, they give you the exact amount, in addition to his monthly salary of $30,000. So the end of the employment relationship they highlight. After receiving the last big bonus, Evanko became increasingly selfish and greedy and made a series of decisions that were not in the best interest of the company. So remember, he's painted the picture like, okay, all this money's coming in, and Stormy became greedy. Now she's painting the picture of, well, now all this money's coming in, and now he's getting greedy. Like, who do you believe at this point? Okay, so after receiving the last big bonus, Evanko became increasingly selfish and greedy and made a series of decisions that were not in the best interest of the company. For example, Stormy repeatedly tasked Evanko with hiring a chief financial officer and graphic design director to manage the company's rapid growth. Evanko refused in order to retain as much control and authority as possible, even at the expense of the company. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Again, leading back to what he said in his original Instagram post and what he's saying in the lawsuit, she was concerned that he was making himself indispensable. He was handling everything. Damn, this is what I talk about twerking on a fence. But look, you hear one side, you hear another, and you're like, well, that makes sense too. Okay. So they said the discourse between Evanko and the company arising from his refusal to act in the best interest of the company escalated when Steele informed him that she was hiring a qualified CFO to manage the company's finances and that Evanko would no longer be able to make unilateral decisions over the money. On or about July 18, 2024, Evanko texted and called a coworker indicating he intended to resign from the company and claim ownership of certain label designs that he had assisted the company with during his employment. Do you have that text message? All of these things can be found and discovered. Just saying. The next day, Evanko and Steele had multiple telephone conversations during which Evanko expressed dissatisfaction with his job and with the state of his professional relationship with the company. On Monday, July 22nd, 2024, the parties were set to speak regarding a, quote, plan to move forward. Instead, Evanko sent a lengthy message to Steele stating that he was putting a hard pause on any and all duties, responsibilities, or actions that can be interpreted as me representing the company, and described his decision as an abrupt leave of absence. Evanko further stated, I do not know if this is the end of our professional relationship until the end of time, but I do know that we need a break and a pause. And these are quotes. And I fully understand that this leave of absence may end in a permanent and amicable dismissal from the company. Emphasis added. Again, if she has this text message and emails, that's what I want to see next. Do we have the evidence in this attachment? Accepting Evanko's decision to abruptly end his work with the company sent Evanko a termination notice on Friday, July 26, 2024. Evanko's post-termination actions. Going on social media? Soon after leaving, Evanko posted a lengthy message to social media disparaging the company and Steele. He also revealed confidential financial and operational information about the company to the public. Did he have a contract with the company? Was that in his contract about doing stuff like that? I wonder. In that post and in a form demand letter sent to the company, Evanko claims to have an ownership interest in the company despite having repeatedly acknowledged in writing, audio recordings, and otherwise to Steele and others that he does not. Evanko further claims that he's entitled to 30% of all future profits of the company, separate and apart from any ownership interest he claims. Finally, Evanko claims to own certain intellectual property he was given access to and assisted with during the course of his employment, including certain product labels. So it kind of makes me wonder, did this man come in thinking that he could take over this business? Is this a coup d'etat? What is this? Like, I don't know who to trust. No wonder my manager is so wary of people coming into the team, because you get concerned by things like this. So, cause of action. Count 1, declaratory judgment. The company realleges, blah, blah, blah. Pursuant to Alabama's Declaratory Judgment Act of the Code of Alabama, the company respectfully requests that the court declare the rights, privileges, and/or entitlements of the parties. They then said that another court of records within their respective jurisdictions shall have the power to declare rights, status, and other legal relations, whether or not further relief is or could be claimed. No action or proceeding shall be open to objection on the ground that a declaratory judgment is requested. The declaration may be either affirmative or negative in form and effect, and such declaration shall have the force and effect of final judgment. The next thing they say, upon information and belief, all parties interested in the outcome of this lawsuit are parties to this action and properly before the court. A justiciable controversy presently exists with respect to the rights, status, and other legal relations of the company and Evanko pursuant to Alabama law, including but not limited to whether Evanko has ownership interest in the company, is entitled to additional compensation or profits now or in the future, or owns the intellectual property described above. They also continue, they say, there is a bona fide controversy between the company and Evanko as to these matters that has caused uncertainty and insecurity as to the parties' rights and obligations, and companies entitled to have it resolved by this court. A judicial declaration is necessary and appropriate at this time under the circumstances to terminate the controversy and remove the uncertainty that presently exists between the parties. So she only has 1 count against him. He has like 4 against her. Doesn't mean much of anything in my opinion, but I'm not a lawyer. Lawyers, feel free to weigh in. She only has 1 count against him, but a lot within that count. Prayer for relief. They say, wherefore, premises considered, the company respectfully requests that Evanko be summoned to appear and answer, and that upon final trial, this honorable court enter a judgment for the company and against Evanko for the following. 1, or I should say A, an order declaring Evanko is not a member or owner of the company and has no interest therein or in any of its affiliate companies. So I wonder if this is really going to go to trial. B, an order declaring that Evanko is not entitled to any additional profits or compensation now or in the future. C, an order declaring all product labels or other intellectual property associated with the company to which Evanko claims ownership are owned by the company and or its affiliate companies. D, such other and further relief to which the company shows it is justly entitled at law or in equity. So this was filed on August 16th. We did our video on August 16th in regards to Kyle's original lawsuit, which was filed on August 14th. Because some people were asking, are you going to read and talk about Stormy's response or Stormy's lawsuit? At the time of that recording, we didn't even know. It didn't even come up when I searched for this lawsuit. But shout out to all of you that were sending me links. I appreciate that. You guys don't send me links enough in regards to it. But maybe Stormy wanted to send it to me via her intermediaries. It's okay. It's all right, Stormy. I've been waiting for your response. I literally said it in the previous video. I want to know Stormy's response. I don't want a DM. I don't want your personal story. No. Let me know what you're sending to the judge, and I will read very much like what he did. If you had posted a statement on social media, I would have read that statement. I don't need a personal conversation. I am not that involved. I don't want to be involved. That's y'all lawsuit. That's y'all personal business. I just report on your personal business. I mean, it's public business. It's a public company. I will not you know what I mean. But it's a company to the public. All right. Anyways. Guys, I want to know your reaction. For those that watched yesterday's video and now you're hearing Stormy's side, who do you believe? Honestly, it's going to be he said, she said, based off of what we know. The court will have to oversee the evidence, the text messages, the bank statements, the actual payments. They're saying that he has been paid $3 million. There has to be proof. If there is no proof, then I'm a little more concerned about how you're handling your finances. There has to be proof that he was paid $3 million over the last year and a half. Okay. We shall see. And we're going to continue to follow this story. But like I said, we are just reporting on the story. We have no sort of, investment in either side. But I'm glad that we're finally able to report on Stormy's side. Guys, let's continue this conversation in the comment section. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch the shoes.